everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video I'm doing something a bit different. Once every Monday or so I'll try to release a new match of the week gameplay video, with some of them giving advice for that type of game mode. In this case, I played Air Arcade and had 17 kills in a single match, which is not too uncommon for me at this point. I recently had a 23 kill Air Arcade match at Top Tier American, which I will be posting in the future. This said, I'll give you some advice in this video so that you too can do very well. Pay attention to the gameplay in the background as it will illustrate my points. I'll try to make my advice and tips as condensed as possible so you can view the gameplay in the background, because after all, that's the most important thing, and for me, I know I learn by watching, not so much by listening. That said, let's get into it. To start, I love me some German planes. For me, they are the absolute best prop planes in game. In this match, I used the BF-109G6, the G2, FW-190C, and also the FW-190A5. These planes are characterized by their heavy armament and boom and zoom capabilities. This aside, let's get into some advice. Now, let's just get this out of the way. Don't believe what people say. Head-ons are great, but only if you're good at them and if you have heavy cannons and or nose-mounted weaponry. Between these two things, you'll have something that has little to no weapon conversions and something that can deliver a knockout punch to nearly any enemy. Head-ons are best with German planes due to the presence of, again, both heavy cannons and nose-mounted weaponry, but are also decent with American planes, especially once they hit jets. Practice, 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 and you'll end up knowing exactly which rounds that you fire will hit and destroy your enemies. Between not tailing my enemies as a rule, and I'll go over that in a moment, and doing head-ons, these two tactics alone probably account for about 70% plus of my kills. To perfect the head-on, I try to aim a little bit below my enemy if they're coming down at me, and a little bit high if I'm diving down on them. If you're encountering each other on a flat plane, shoot just a tiny bit higher than where the wings are so that you hit their pilot while still destroying their plane, thus giving you two opportunities to destroy the enemy. Once you know that you fired the shot that will kill the enemy, simply roll your plane slightly to the left and dodge the incoming hulk of a dead plane that will now be coming towards you at hundreds of miles per hour. This is a carefully orchestrated dance that I've perfected and that the enemy has no idea that he's participating in. To touch back on my rule against tailing enemies, I have a strict policy against tailing enemies mainly because this presents you with a smaller target to hit in your enemy and also makes your movements extremely predictable, again, for your enemies. It is by far and away one of the absolute worst things you can do, especially when enemies are abundant. I do tail enemies occasionally and almost always end up regretting this. This is because what happens is you'll get behind the enemy plane, then all of a sudden your enemies will start coming in behind you almost in a conga line, and then all of a sudden you have three different people from possibly three different angles trying to shoot you with tons of different weapons, and you have no chance to survive. If you try to cut in, you're going to get killed. If you try to zoom up, you're going to get killed. It's just not a good scenario to put yourself in, especially in Air Arcade. Just try not to do it because you will be caught right in the middle of, and this sounds cheesy, but more or less kind of a death sandwich. One of the worst places to be in any air mode, regardless of if it's Air Arcade or Air Realistic. And this goes for both Air Arcade and Realistic, but use your flaps often. I would say almost doubly so in Air Arcade because they cannot be destroyed due to speed in Air Arcade. But since using flaps more often, my average good games have went from 12 or 13 kills to 15 plus kills, with oftentimes fewer deaths than I used to get as well. This will help you tremendously as you try to turn in on your opponent and will make kills where you tail your enemies less necessary. If you can turn in on your opponent, you'll be faced with a plane that has a much larger profile to hit rather than if, again, you tail him. This makes them easier to hit and thus easier to kill. I mean it, use your flaps all the time. It's something that was almost kind of just a miracle to me when I just said, wow, flaps are amazing. I used to not fly with flaps, but, even after 6 or 7 years of being stubborn with doing it, I did it and I do not regret it one bit. Use your flaps, guys, especially in Air Arcade. And for this final tip, I made a video actually over a year ago regarding this, back when my videos had far less refinement, no scripts or anything like that. I just kind of droned on forever where this video would probably end up being 20 minutes rather than however long it will end up being. That being said, always keep your head on a swivel. The importance of awareness in War Thunder, especially in Air RB and Air Arcade, cannot be understated. You need to be aware of where your enemies are at all times, and always make sure that you're going for the enemy that will either get closest to you first or presents the greatest immediate danger to you. In many cases, I will have two enemies within about, let's say, 1 kilometer of me, and if I choose, I will go for the enemy that can outturn me almost every time. They present the greatest danger of turning in on you and thus immediately killing you. The better the turning ability, the less distance that enemy will have when they start to chase you down if you do not kill them in a head-on. This is ridiculously important. Always keep yourself combat aware and do exactly as I do in this video, where I'm always looking around me almost every other second of every game. That's how I get 15 plus kills. Between being combat aware and doing head-ons and really knowing to trust my plane and my shot, that's how I get all these kills. That said, thanks so much for watching, everyone. There is quite a bit of gameplay footage still left in this video, so feel free to watch it. Like I said, I'm really proud of this match. 17 kills. It's not something that's really uncommon for me, but when I get it, it always puts a smile on my face. And like I said, I will be uploading that 23 kill game in the future. Just let me know what you guys think of this type of video, if you want me to change it up a little bit, change the template. You know, there's a lot of things. This is kind of a prototype video, so I want to know what you guys think. I might be posting them every week, once every month, twice a month, who knows. But that said, again, I'm signing out for the day. Please remember, like, comment, subscribe if you have not done so already. But either way, this is Tankenstein signing out for the night. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Be excellent to each other, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.